Yo, yo, yo. My name is Felix Castro. Today we got Kyle Marley, Big Marley 3 on the X. And today we're going to do another DraftKings Millie draft, and we're going to smash it. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to take, one of us is going to take home that 1.5. If not, if we get into different lobbies, maybe one of us, we'll split it 7.5 each. We'll take it. All right, let's go. No, definitely nothing wrong with that. All right, pull up DraftKings Best Ball. I would like them to actually get another tournament, like another small dollar tournament in here. I am wasting a lot of money on these big dollar tournaments lately.
I haven't done a whole lot of DraftKings yet. I've been focused on drafters mainly, and since I knew I was coming on this, I just started looking at the Week 17 schedule, and I pretty much got it memorized in the last hour or so.
It's not too bad. Honestly, the year I won it, I didn't worry about it. To be fair, it was a different time back then.
Are you in? Okay.
I'm jumping in right now.
Boom.
5-12, and yeah. So, but I think you can honestly just naturally because I think the ADPs are starting to shift to if you draft somebody here, they're already the ADPs are shifting to where that person would be anyway. So I don't think you have to go out of your way to get Week 17 correlation anymore.
Yeah, I've only done 2 so far. I think both of them were on your shows.
Okay, yeah.
I looked afterwards and I was like, oh, sweet, I'm pretty correlated without even thinking about it. So yeah, I can definitely see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't know how exactly everybody seems to have worked. I think it's ETR. They have a big impact on DraftKings ADP. So I don't know. Maybe. How many drafts have you done? The $3? I know you said you didn't do any of the big time tournaments over here usually.
Well, that was quick.
And
I got
first. Nice. 101. Jeez.
This is only my 3rd Millie Maker. I've done. I think I did the $5 single entry. I might have done a $15 single entry.
Yeah.
And then I've only done 1 Best Ball Mania. I've done a couple of the smaller dollar ones over there. And then I'm 90 deep on the $2 drafters one, and I'm 15 in their big one so far.
Okay. Yeah, I went back and I was I kind of want to see what your strategy was in drafting. So I watched your last 3 videos. I'm man, you drafted Aaron Rodgers. I'm oh, what a tough beat. And because it was only funny because I remembered it after watching it later. It's you said as long as somebody gets hurt, and he got hurt play 4. What are the odds?
Dude, I went with 2 quarterbacks in most of my builds last year.
Yeah.
More than half my teams didn't even have a quarterback in the last half of the season. It was a tough
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I 2 years ago, this is why I drafted 2 quarterbacks. I had Trey Lance on a lot of 2 quarterback teams the year before and or Zach Wilson. I was getting one of those two. It was all 2 quarterback teams, and it's man, I couldn't have had a bad run, a worse run out 2 years ago.
My guy Titletown won the drafters with Zach Wilson, and it was just he had Jalen Hurts as well, which really helped. But 2 quarterbacks with Zach Wilson shipped it.
That's so wild. And he had the last 2 weeks he wasn't even playing the quarterback, wasn't he?
Right. Yeah, that's correct. And he still somehow won. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be me this year, but yeah, I've been getting a lot more 3 quarterbacks this year, especially with 20 rounds.
Yeah, DraftKings and drafters is 20 rounds too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. After this, I'm probably going to start doing my underdog stuff early July, and then try and get in 150 in the Best Ball Mania. But I'm not doing as many of the smaller. I'm not doing really
puppies. Yeah. The year after I won the Millie, I maxed everything out. Nice, got CMC. I maxed everything out. I did 1,700 drafts. I was on the clock all day, man.
Wow. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. I feel like last year I loved drafting, but towards the end I was feeling a little burnt out.
Yeah,
and then I got crushed so hard in the season. I was man, I can wait to start this year. But as soon as the schedule was released, I was let's just try it out.
Just a couple out here, a couple. Yeah, I've definitely tried to be. I was pretty much at 100 in both sites are at this point last year. So this year I'm taking it slow. Trying not to do. I think reducing my stream days has helped with that, but it's hard not to run off a bunch of drafts because they're addictive, man. They are.
And I mean 2 years in a row, I got crushed by what's his name, Tim Patrick for the Broncos. I had like 20% of them in both years. Then he goes down. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, my buddy Pat from the Pounders, he drafts a lot of. He drafted Tim Patrick twice, or the last few years as well.
Never again.
I drafted Marvin Mims, so it wasn't much better.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, quarterbacks is what killed me so hard last year. I feel like I had a lot of really good fades, but it didn't matter because I had no quarterback on most of my teams because I was so high on Kirk Cousins. I was really high on Aaron Rodgers, and it was just dead from the start, especially with Aaron Rodgers teams.
Yeah, I was high on a bunch of injured guys as well, but not quarterbacks wise. But it was Christian Watson. I had a whole bunch of him. Najee Harris, who wasn't injured but just wasn't like producing. I had a bunch of picks last year. I'm not gonna deny it.
Yeah, last year was my worst year by far, but I feel like it was mainly injuries. Although I had Gabe Davis, I think he was my highest owned player, and he just sucked most of the year.
Well, he was bad, but he was good too.
He had his good weeks, but then there were so many where he had like
zeros. But that's what you kind of want, though. That's what you kind of want in best ball. You want a guy that'll give you zeros, but like will give you like the 20+ point weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
I got Gabe Davis in the chat.
Too early for that. I like him more where he's going this year.
Yeah, I agree. 140 is a smash for that pick.
Yeah. Like I'm still high on him again.
Me too. He's my highest owned wide receiver for sure.
Oh, nice. I haven't really checked out a lot of my exposures yet, but I would imagine he's like a top 5 for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna grab Gibbs here. Have a nice little Puka Gibbs, a little NFC.
Nice
stack here. Diggs and Nico at the 11 and 14 picks. That's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
No.
And yeah, I haven't really focused on week 17 correlation yet, so hopefully I don't start forgetting about it, but I could definitely see me doing that.
So the highest projected total game is the Houston and Baltimore game, but I don't like to grab too much of it because it's like they're both week 14 buys.
Huh.
And it's like you're putting yourself in a weird spot if you have like that game stacked, I guess, to the max that a lot of people try to do on here.
I probably have a lot of the players, but probably not together.
Yeah.
And for drafters, it doesn't really matter. It's just combined 17 weeks anyways.
Yeah, the guys that won it last year were like spike week guys, which was kind of crazy. Seems like just a bunch of good, like if you're a good drafter, you're going to win it. So hoping that continues.
Hopefully that's us this year.
Yeah. I didn't do drafters. I got spanked so hard the year before because I was drafting Najee 101 that year. He was so bad, and I think I only cashed like two lineups out of 150.
Oh damn! DraftKings is my worst because I was usually doing slow drafts.
Yeah,
and then I would miss one, and then it throws me on auto.
Yeah, and it throws you on auto. Yeah.
Yeah, I autoed way too many teams, so I need to do live drafts only. Yeah. All right. So I got CMC, and they're against the Lions. Ooh. What's going on here? Hold up. Let's go with Mike Evans, and then, man, I'm really high on Kupp. Definitely nervous about all the injuries.
Oh, I love Kupp.
But San Francisco. Yeah, I'm going to take Kupp. I rank
they're going to have to
higher than Debo.
I think their defense is going to suck this year, which is a good thing for the offense.
True.
No Aaron Donald.
If he doesn't get hurt, I think he's going to be amazing.
I agree. And it's like Puka Nacua, even though I drafted him, he isn't like injury free. That dude got like injured all the time in college.
Huh. Yeah, I don't really watch college, but I always check out all the highlights and stuff before I start digging into the best ball.
Okay. I do the highlights as well. I'm a big highlight guy, a fan as well. But
I feel like I'm a good judge of talent, but there's only so much you can see out of highlights.
Right? Yeah.
Great.
Exactly. I do watch a lot of college football, but not as much as I did when I was a kid.
Nice. Yeah, I like my start, man. If I get CMC, I feel like I don't need to touch another running back for a handful of rounds. Just kind of rely on him. And if he doesn't work out, I'm not going to win anyways.
Exactly. All right. It looks like I'm out. Back on the clock.
Gabe
Little,
Davis sucks.
I'm gonna go with Kyron. Get a little, finish my RB room until Najee and get a little nice Ram stack. They're facing the Cardinals, so I might get McBride here.
I like it.
Bless you. So this week's fights, I don't know anything about the guy that Phil Hall. Like, I know that he knocked out Phil Halls, but like when they had the UFC YouTube had the fight shown again, he kind of got rocked by Phil Halls. Now is he as good as Whitaker, or is like would Whitaker also knock out Phil Halls?
I'd say Whitaker would knock out Phil Haas too,
Okay.
but he should be a better wrestler than Whitaker.
Okay.
But my issue is that he was training for a 3-round fight last week against, I mean, what the line indicated was a scrub, and now he's flying across the world, and now he's doing 5 rounds. I just don't think you can really wrestle heavily in a 25-minute fight unless you're going to finish early. So I kind of like Whitaker, especially as close as the line is. I thought he was going to be a little bit bigger of a favorite than he was. So I think there's some value on the favorite in that one right now, actually.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was thinking, but I was like, maybe I just don't know this guy that well.
Yeah, maybe if it was 3 rounds, I would agree with the line where it is, but I just don't know how he's going to go a hard 5. And I've seen him not really gas in past fights, but definitely slow down, breathing pretty heavy late into fights. And I just don't think that's going to be an issue with Whitaker.
Right.
So, yeah, I really like Whitaker in that fight, actually. I was going to like Chimaev over Whitaker, but now I like Whitaker over Ikram.
Yeah, I was excited. Dude, Chimaev is what I'm excited for whenever it's going to happen. It's going to happen one day. Chimaev versus Bo Nickel. That's going to bring in the numbers, man. I'm so excited for that. That is my favorite future fight that's going to happen one day.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Chimaev better hope it's earlier than later.
Yeah. He's getting up there.
Bo Nickel grows into a full fighter. He's going to be dangerous.
Yeah. Is the shot? I don't know if I've looked at it correctly. The guy that only has one vision out of one eye, is he fighting this weekend?
Yeah, he is. He's got a late notice replacement too.
Okay.
That should be a pretty good fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I looked at the other guy today, and it's like his whole record's filled with like boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. Like he does it all. But I just don't know how he's going to really strike with that guy. Shera Magomedov is the guy. He's just a really good striker. Throws a million kicks every fight. I do think he's going to have a big striking advantage in that fight, but the other guy has a path to victory through the ground. So I couldn't lay the line on Magomedov. I do think the other guy's live, but I ended up picking Magomedov to win. I just think more often than not, I think it's going to stay on the feet, and he should win while it's on the feet. Yeah. I like how active he is off of his back, too. He was just getting taken down a little bit too easy in his first fight, so I do think the other guy will have some success on the ground.
Yeah, it was pretty fun to watch him. I was like, he only has vision on one eye. He's just whooping up on that kid.
Yeah. Okay, what do we do here? Let's go with I'm going to take just throwing correlation out there. Well, unless I go with Patrick Mahomes. You know what? Let's do it. Patrick Mahomes,
Marquise
and
Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, that's a good combo. You get a little value there on Mahomes, and you don't lose too much.
Yeah, I haven't done my rankings yet, but I would have said T. Higgins would have been my highest rank there. So I was about to click on him, but I like to get a little bit of correlation, you know?
Yeah. The stacking teams is a smart move.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hate when my stacks get stolen and then I have to figure it out late. It's always tough, and I always hate those drafts.
Yeah. Yes. So my buddy Derek
Mike
here.
Evans, and I'm going to be battling with you for Stafford. Like, those are the ones that get me when I have.
No, you can have Stafford. I actually don't ever draft stationary quarterbacks.
Oh, no kidding. Okay, that would have been good to know. Maybe he'll be my number 2 though. But I would be fine with just 2 quarterbacks if I have those 2.
To be fair, there was like a 30 pick. I was in a draft earlier with Soccer Dave, and he and I were just like letting who was it? Kirk Cousins just fall down the board, and it was like 40 or 30 picks past ADP. So he finally took them. But
oh yeah, that's kind of my rule this year is even if I don't like the player, if they're 20 picks past ADP, I'm interested.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I can go with him this round. That he finally drafted it. I was like, all right, you can have it.
I'm not getting Cousins unless I got at least.
Well, I had AR and Trevor Lawrence. So I'm like, he's my third quarterback, and there's other players I like in that area, but
yeah, with AR and Lawrence, I'm fine with just two quarterbacks. But AR is he's the worry there. His style could definitely get hurt any year.
Definitely saw that happen last year. I didn't have too much of them last year, but
I had everyone that got hurt last year. You name if they got hurt, I had a lot of them.
So I want to go him right now, but I know I need wide receivers at this current second. So.
And I'm from Indiana, so I'm a Colts fan, so I had to root for him. So it gets me a little bit more
what
draft.
What part of Indiana?
Carmel, just north of Indianapolis.
Okay, I have family in Evansville.
Oh, nice. I think that's probably a couple hours away. 2 hours away from me.
I used to live in Illinois and drive over to out there, but we went and saw. Who did we see? We saw George Lopez in Indianapolis one time.
Huh.
That was pretty cool city.
Yeah, I like it. I've been here my whole life.
Yeah.
So I've been a Colts fan forever, but now it's to a point where it's like I like whatever players I have in my lineup that week more than the Colts.
Yeah, that's how DFS does it to you, man. Yeah, like everybody thinks I'm a Steelers fan because I love Najee so much. I'm a Chargers fan. And you wouldn't be able to tell with how much Najee I have.
Yeah, no kidding. I saw your exposures today, like 95%.
Well, all right, so I like to build it like it's a DFS slate. The way I look at my best ball lineups, it's one just big DFS slate. And if I can give like my lock player that I think is just going to blow up the slate again, I'm going to put him in there. And he's going later than he's ever gone.
Yeah, that's true. I don't hate him, but I know I'm not going to get him when I'm going against you, and I'm not taking him in the 7th. And then I just realized I can't really go Stafford and Mahomes as my only two quarterbacks because they got the same bye.
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, you're going to go three quarterbacks anyways, so.
Yeah, at least having Mahomes and then having McCaffrey, I feel like I could just start loading up on the pass catchers at this point.
Yeah.
Figure the rest out later.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a pretty good you're winning at RB1 and you're winning at QB1. And you have already a decent wide receiver career. You can pretty much go in any which way you want.
Yeah, I got Mike Evans. He was my biggest miss last year. He was like my worst fade of the whole year. So I was like, you know what? I still don't really like him where he's going this year, but I need to get a little bit of exposure just so he doesn't burn me again.
Yeah, I got burned by Amari Cooper last year.
Oh, yeah. That was another
in the playoffs. Yeah,
yeah, especially late in the year.
Yeah. Well, who would have known that Joe Flacco was going to come out of retirement and
look the best he ever has.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if he has to play for the Colts this year, he'll look just as good. But ideally, he doesn't have to play.
Yeah. So when are you guys getting back into the saddle of doing best ball streams again?
I would say probably maybe 2 weeks or so. I'm not sure yet. I've been running up those $2 drafts, kind of figuring out who I like, where I want to get my rankings. So I'll get the rankings ready soon, but I would imagine we go July and August.
Sweet.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to delete some people for putting mock draft in their title, so I need more best ball content.
Yeah.
I'm anti these people who put mock drafts in their titles, man.
Absolutely, especially if it's not a mock draft. But even if it is, like, why are you mock drafting anyways?
At this point in best ball, you could just call it what it is. It's not a mock draft. Yeah. Nowhere do they say it's not fake.
And there's no way you're getting more views by putting mock draft over best ball and whatever the title is.
You can put the dollar amount. It's going to get more views. I don't know. Yeah. So I just don't trust those people's opinions anymore.
I agree. I like that style there. All right. Got an easy one here, and then dang, Aaron Jones going 68 on DraftKings. That's early.
Yeah, it's because of his PPR slash
worthy and
double.
Let's go with. Dang, this one's tough. You know what? Let's go ahead and take Zamir White. I liked what he did last year. Should be the full-time back on that team. I like their coach.
Yeah, he's kind of one of those guys that wants to get that 100-yard bonus. like every week, and so he wants to get the 100 yards for his running back. So I can see him, every week getting that 10 plus that 3 at least.
And I've been drafting a lot of Saints players as well, so that's a nice little Week 17 stack if I can start loading them on later.
What Saints players do you like?
Unfortunately, Juwan Johnson was my favorite, and then he's going to have that foot surgery, which sucks. But I've been getting a lot of Kamara. I get Olave if I'm getting early second picks. Okay. I'll take some Shaheed. I really get a little bit of all of them. I'll take A.T. Perry really late.
So on DraftKings, it's smart to grab Taysom because he's listed as a tight end still. Yeah, except on the short version of this. He's actually still listed as quarterback.
I always get a lot of Taysom. I saw they took him off of tight end on Underdog, though. That sucks.
Yeah. All right. 7th round is for my good friend Najee Harris.
Love to see it.
Alrighty. Let's see what we have here. Nothing too wild. 2 quarterbacks through 4. Okay, hold on. I was going to say nothing too crazy, but then I first see this. 2-4-0-1. No wide receivers yet. Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Rashad White, Anthony Richardson, and Jake Ferguson. I'm curious of what his first wide receiver is going to be.
That's not a start you would see me going after.
That's a tough start.
I feel like we're playing against 11 people.
11 people, yeah. Well, we had that lobby, was it last week, where it was like a 5 quarterback drafter, 2 4 quarterback drafters.
Yeah, that was great. And I liked my team too. So I was like, I feel like those are easy dead teams at this point. So I liked that one. I was glad I jumped in that week.
Yeah, I like to fight back against people that say DraftKings drafters are bad, but sometimes it just shows. Sometimes it's not all the way back, perfect yet.
Yeah, the dead teams wise, I would say DraftKings you get a lot of that, but on drafters, I've been getting sniped on quarterbacks so often, and like for no reason. I'll go and like, what the heck did you take him 20 picks early for? And then I look at his team, and there's no stack piece.
I forgot to take Kyler there. Oh, and he goes right immediately afterwards. Oh well.
So we got Chiefs. I need to start getting some Steelers players, maybe.
I guess if Warren falls to you, that'd be nice, but I don't know if he will.
It's true. Let me star him just in case.
Yeah, Derek. All names are taken. Is at the 3 hole. I don't know if he'll let him buy you, but he has a Rashee Rice stack. Who knows? He's a good drafter out of the 3 hole. Tyler D's 343. I've seen him before, but I'm not sure who he is.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know any of these names except yours.
Yeah. I kind of jumped in a little early, but that's because I want you on the Know the Nation afterwards. I didn't want to waste your time.
All right.
Let's see here.
Maybe I will.
I mean, it's kind of a steal if you supposed to here. Zach Moss is a lower ADP. You should go with Zach Moss. Oh, you want Brock Bowers. Perfect.
Ooh. I actually like Zach Moss a lot this year, too. I'm going to take them both and then be done with running backs for a while, if not completely done, to be honest.
I was like, you have 4. I mean, you could, grab one super late, but, you could be done running back there.
Yeah, I probably would. I like getting at least 5, so I probably would get one late. And I do like the 18 through 20 round running backs this year, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of them I like back there. I'm just like, I personally don't want to, there's a lot of my people that I follow that want, late round running backs. But I feel like if you want to do that strategy, you kind of want to know later, who's at least the backup that you want to be drafting. That you're fully relying on second string and third string running backs. But
that's true. But at the same time, if you know that they're going to be the backup, they're probably going up in ADP as well.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's all risky to me.
Yeah, I love those teams where it's like I start with 7 wide receivers and no running backs, and then I get 9 running backs on the team, just hoping that some of them work out.
Yeah,
but it is tough. You really need it to fall your way.
Yeah, I was drafting a lot of those types of teams last year, but it didn't. I also had a lot of Damian Harris on my teams, like 30% of them, and then I had Khalil Herbert who didn't do anything. I was like, pretty much skipping Devin A-Chain, man. I was like, if I could have just taken more Devin A-Chain and less the other guys, I would have been.
That was another fade for me, and I had so much Damian Harris too.
So
that was a pain. I forgot about that one actually.
Fuck, retired. That's wild.
Good. Can't fall for it again.
All right, we got here. Let's see here. There's a lot of good running backs here. I'm not going to get Jordan Love, but we're going to get two of his wide receivers. So we'll have 2 stacks without the quarterbacks potentially. I might have to grab them based on what is happening here.
I do think Jordan Love might be one of my highest owned quarterbacks so far over on Drafters.
Yeah, I like him. On here, he just goes a smidge early for me. He's going like right where I want to get Najee, and I don't know if I have Christian Watson yet, so it's like always tough to grab him.
Yeah, it's like if I get Jordan Reed or Christian Watson, I'm usually going after Love and then trying to double stack with the Dobbs or what's his name?
Musgrave. Well, personally, I like Musgrave, but Wicks is out there, and
Wicks. Yeah, Wicks. Yeah. I got a lot of Wicks actually.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite in this lobby. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm personally not. I'm not a fan, but there are people in the chat that love Wicks.
Oh wow, he's going ADP of 135. I think he's like 115 on Drafters.
Okay. Oh, so he's going real early on Drafters.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm debating whether I should get my last running back for a little while or if I should go Josh Palmer and hope that one of the quarterbacks make it back to me.
Yeah, Josh Palmer's another one. I think he just jumped up to like 100 ADP on Drafters.
Holy cow. Yeah, he's flying up the boards. It's just wild.
Yeah, I've been taking him in almost all my DraftKings ones just because of that ADP difference.
So I usually go Devin Singletary here, but I'm going to grab Palmer and hope that either Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert make it back to me.
2 quarterbacks I like.
Yeah. Well, I know that I was listening to you guys' stream from last year. You were big on the Chargers, or maybe it was Tuttle, or he was big on Title. Sorry,
I was definitely big on the Chargers. Probably wasn't great for me though, because I had so much Mike Williams, so that hurt. Yeah. Keenan Allen was great for me when he was healthy, but that's
same with Big Mike, man. He was doing so. I had 20% Big Mike as well. I was dying after that first, after the first couple months of the.
Yeah, I looked on Underdog, and I was like, I think I was a top 5 Big Mike drafter of every single person in Best Ball Mania. I was like, oh man, it could have been so great.
Yeah, he was killing it too, and then, like always, he gets hurt.
Yeah, I feel like every year he's one of my top 3 highest owned wide receivers. Even this year, I got more than I was hoping just because he keeps falling. And I keep having to take him when he falls.
This guy's got he's got more quarterbacks than wide receivers.
You got Murray too? Wow.
Yeah.
And he's not even auto drafting?
Nope, that's a real drafter.
Wow.
The great thing about DraftKings, you can tell when somebody's auto drafting, thankfully.
Yeah.
That is a real person making these selections. Tyler Lockett's his wide receiver 1. Injured Khalil Shakir is wide receiver 2.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that team, huh?
No.
All right. I kind of like all these wide receivers here. You know what? We've been talking about Gabe Davis. I got to take him.
No! Yeah, I don't blame you.
And then...
What? Where are you? 120? You're taking Gabe because you know he's not going to get back to you, I guess.
Oh, shit. You're right. But I feel like he's like 130 or so on Drafters. So I'm just so used to those ADPs. You know what? Gabe Davis and Mike Williams were my highest 2 owned wide receivers last year. Let's just run it back.
Run it back. I'm fading Big Mike just because he hurt me too much last year, but
yeah,
he was on my Millie making winning team the year I wanted.
Yeah, that would make me want to keep getting him. I mean, I get him every year, and he doesn't really get me anything, and I still keep taking them anyways.
I had on my team, it was like, in 20 rounds, I had probably like 8 or 9 people on the IR or injured or like out that week because of COVID. So like my lineup was pretty much the starting lineup was like pretty much what you actually needed to win the whole thing, which is pretty crazy.
That's awesome. Hopefully I'll get that one year.
Yeah. I'll take second place this year. I'll take another $1 million.
My biggest sweat was like it was the heart attack game. I stacked up that Bengals Bills game. I had like 5 of their top players, and I was like, all right, we can maybe make some noise tonight. And then Hamlin has the heart attack on the field, and it just ends the whole thing.
So that was the year after I won it. My 1,700 drafts, I had only 7 in the finals. Every single one of my teams, of my 1,700 teams, I tried to get a Bengals Cincinnati stack. All 7 of my finals teams had a Bengals Cincinnati stack, and I'm like, it probably cost me like, I don't think I was doing great, but it probably cost me like 10 G's.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even want to know how much it cost me, but more than I would like. And I also had like a primetime lineup. I was like, oh, I'm shipping it because I had like a 2% owned Jalen Warren who had a really good game.
Yeah.
And then I had all the studs going from that Bengals, who was it? Bengals Bills matchup. And then that happened. I couldn't believe it.
I was on an airplane on my way
back. Glad he lived, but damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Yeah, it was going to be a good game too, man.
Oh, no kidding! It started out hot too.
Yeah. Oh well.
Never again. Hopefully.
Hopefully, never again. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't win the comeback player of the year, but I was kind of glad that he did it because it only sets precedence as if something like that happens for a player just to be alive, I guess, to win it. I was actually glad it went to somebody that actually played well.
True. Yeah, like he was barely even on the field, I feel like.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he was about to be a shoo-in for that bet. I don't know if you watch a lot of Pat Mayo stuff, but that whole saga with Jeff Feinberg betting against him and taking the field was pretty funny.
Nice. Yeah, I've been I like Pat Mayo. I've been listening to him for a long time, but I feel like every year I fall off a podcast just more and more.
Yeah. See, I work at a small cubicle, and I get about 80 hours worth of like content a week from YouTube.
Wow.
He's definitely still making the cut.
That's how it started. I had a cubicle, and I feel like podcasts just make your day go super quick.
Yeah.
But now that I'm home all the time, I just completely have fallen off of the podcast game.
I'm going to go Josh Downs here. Just a high upside type wide receiver.
Nice. Damn. 146 ADP. Yeah, these ADPs are wild compared to draft.
Yeah. I have my 3 people I listen to for UFC. You guys are in there. I usually don't I have to listen to you guys at home, though, because you guys don't do yours until like Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
And so I listen to you guys the day of. I do my selections because you guys do more DFS side of stuff. Yep. I listen to Cody Saftik and his person on the Dog and Pass.
Paul
and then I listen to John Kelly DFS.
Nice. Yeah.
So I like it. Combine all 3 of you guys' brains together in my head.
I like it. Yeah, I like all those guys.
Yeah.
Me and John Kelly used to work together.
Okay.
Over at FTN, and then I think my first ever podcast that I ever did, Paul Shag was on it with me. I've been on a Pat Mayo podcast with Saftik. So
okay.
Yeah, I like all those guys.
Yeah.
Damn, they just took Freiermuth from me.
I was kind of curious if he was going to fall back to you or not, but
I had him starred, and I needed tight end too.
Do I have a tight end? I don't think I have a tight end. Oh, I do. Trey.
Fuck. Komet just went too.
Are you high on Komet? I'm kind of passing on him this year.
I wouldn't say like high. I just need a tight end at this point. But at this point, I'm cool getting Taysom Hill, I guess. So I have my picks figured out. I think I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy, who I was kind of thinking about last round, and then Taysom Hill.
They have I like Jeudy, but they have so many wide receivers there with Jeudy, Cooper, Elijah Moore, like. they had that rookie they got last year, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody else, and then David Njoku. It's like, is he going to get his, or is he just going to be like one of these 4 for 50 guys and a touchdown occasionally?
Yeah, it could go either way. I'm just a fan of the talent. I had a ton of them last year, though. That didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
I feel like this whole team is like a run back of last year. I had a ton of Warren, ton of Gabe, ton of Williams, ton of Judy. No Mike Evans, though, at least.
Yeah. It's a good team, though.
Yeah, I'm liking how this is turning out.
I want more Neighbors. I can't believe he's going in the second round now. I loved it when he was going in the middle of the third. Malik Neighbors. Yeah,
I got like no Giants this year, so I probably only have 1 or 2 Neighbors teams out of my 125 or whatever I've done.
I've got a good amount, but I want more. I think he's gonna outproduce Marvin Harrison Jr. I liked Marvin Harrison, but like Neighbors is a better prospect for really thinking about it. But
yeah, so hard to tell. I mean, they both look amazing in highlights, so it kind of hurts me not seeing them actually play.
I am a Michigan fan, so like watching them in, going against my blue, I just can't. I can't.
I don't do it.
All right, what we got here? It's 1371. I like Marshawn Lloyd, so that kind of works out.
Nice.
Wait, did somebody take Stafford? I'm just curious.
Yeah, we're just looking for him.
Okay, he went.
Dang.
Why are you drafting 3 quarters?
He took 2.
Oh, he's on auto. He's on auto.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Okay, so most autos are set up for a 3-6-8-3 build. So he should be done at quarterback.
Yeah. He's about to take my other one too then. Oh, you think he might be done? That'll be good. Baker, there he goes.
This guy should be done if he's autoing.
Now I'm screwed on a second stack. Well, I guess not. Not yet.
Did I take anything from Cleveland?
I'm so far away, so it probably will be.
I've got a full free bay build here, but I like Burton. So Musgrave wins. I'll take Burton. Do I need running back? No, I don't. All right. Oh, yeah. I love Burton.
We only got one guy autoing. Yeah.
Yep, one guy autoing, and we had that one guy ATX starting with.
He's finally starting to catch up. He's got 5 wide receivers now.
Yeah. 5 little wide receivers except for Wicks.
Yeah.
Not too worried about that team.
Nope. Not at all.
Everybody else seems to be building fairly correct. It's not like you can't build incorrectly, but the way your wide receiver 1 can't be Tyler Lockett. That's just too much in the red.
Yeah, not a fan of that team at all. I would bet my money that it's dead.
Yeah. So DraftKings back in the day, if you auto drafted your teams and you didn't affect your queue, would automatically give you zeros. It wouldn't let you score any points.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I read that when I started last year, they kind of said that at the start, you have to do your rankings or you can't auto draft.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Well, the first year I did it, it did it with one of my teams, and I was like, to stare at this thing that has 0 the entire year drove me nuts. So I don't think I never not affected my lineups or my draft queue.
Yeah, I just changed one spot, and then I like to go off ADPs anyways.
All right, I forgot about the chat a little bit. Derek says, I love 0 Hero RB. I don't have any Packers or Vikings. I won't be taking Wicks. I'm 100% the Wicks believer. Don't take Gabe. Mixon, not playing. Cost me about $5K. And last year, Najee kneeling cost me $5K. Ugh. Oof. I've been loading the Colts and Giants game. Yeah, I love that game too, the Colts and Giants.
Yeah, 160. All right. Well, I got to take my second quarterback. That's my only stack option left. So I'm taking Watson.
I was curious. Yeah, so he made it back to you. That's nice.
Yeah, I was sweating that one out.
Yeah.
And then do I go Roman Wilson to get that week 17 correlation, or do I get a second tight end? Well, I don't want Auden and Mike Evans since I didn't get Baker. I like Likely.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to take Likely.
He was on. So I took down the underdog battle royale week 17, and he was a big part of that.
Nice. Yeah. If Andrews goes down, he's an absolute stud.
Yeah.
I feel like they should be playing more double tight end anyways.
I think that's what they should be doing. Little New England Patriots there.
Yeah.
Have Gronk, Mark Andrews style, Isaiah Likely, and the Hernandez. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It would smash.
He's their third best wide receiver if we're counting Andrews.
Yeah, Zay Flowers and him. Oh, that'd be dynamic.
Yes, I get a lot of Likely. It's like when I don't have Mark Andrews, I like Mark Andrews too.
And think about if you throw that lineup with the Derrick Henry in the back, like how do you stop that offense? You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be a good team, especially if Lamar can stay healthy.
Yeah,
but I think Likely is the best backup tight end in the entire league.
Oh yeah, hands down. Yeah.
I didn't think Wilson would make it back to me, but had him starred.
I'm going to take Ray here if he makes 16 picks past ADP.
I would have taken Ray if I didn't have 4 stud running backs already.
Yeah. My problem is I don't want to be as only drafting rookies because sometimes I go a little crazy at the end of drafts and it's like 7 straight rookies and there's no middle, like early season production for my teams. I had so many bad teams last year. I think I probably, I don't see why I'm not one of the most popular streamers out there. I have to have one of the biggest plus EV streams out there. When you drafted me, you're getting free money apparently because I was so bad last year.
Yeah, you actually just get on at the perfect time. Like my kids go to bed right around 8:30.
So I put my kids at bed at 8:30. So that's the reason I get on.
And then I turn on YouTube, usually the first thing I do. And then you were first thing up there. So, let's check him out. Let's see if he started yet. And then perfect time. It's like, he hadn't even started. He's just getting in. All right, let's do this. I'll get in with him.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think I'm for the parent stream here because definitely Dennis has kids. And I think I hit that right perfect time for him. And so, Jose up here, also a parent. So I think I am streaming to the fathers of Best Ball. Yeah. I had a Best Ball. I was trying to get all the dads from Best Ball, but StreamYard shut down my stream. I was going one person at a time, and it shut down my stream, and I couldn't ask anybody else to come on, and it just ended the video.
Huh.
So I talked to their customer service there for a little while.
Yeah, I like how my team's turning out, though.
Yeah, that's good.
It's the type of team I like. Usually I wouldn't get 4 running backs that fast when I have CMC, but Warren just fell to me for that stack. And I'm really high on Zach Moss because of what he did last year for my Colts. So I feel like he's in an even better spot now because he doesn't have to have a Taylor coming and getting his job when he comes back.
So with the naked Daniel Jones currently, but my last round pick usually doesn't get taken. Little Daniel Bellinger.
I was about to say it. Remembering your exposures from your tweet today.
He usually goes undrafted. I think people are thinking Theo Johnson is better than he currently is. He's a good prospect. He's going to be good in the future, but he's not good right now. Yeah. And when Daniel Jones was on the field 2 years ago, before Darren Waller, what's the same? Bellinger was popping off until he got a finger poked in his eye.
I actually have probably $20 or $30 worth of dead Darren Waller teams, just hoping that he was going to come back and I could get him in the last round.
Did you do any big boards?
I did 3 big boards, and I lucked into a Keon Coleman 120 something pick stacked with Josh Allen.
Nice.
So I really like that one. But that's all I remember about those 3 big boards is that stack. I don't know what the heck the other 3 look like.
I have a lot of weird teams, a lot of Justin Fields teams, unfortunately. But I did make sure I got 3 quarterbacks in all my teams. And I smashed the rookie / running back, and that seemed to work out fairly well.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to go back and see what the heck those look like. I just remember when he got drafted by them, I was like, oh, that works out perfect. Okay, have to get a 3rd tight end. I'm I'm a believer in Jonnu Smith. I'm going to take him.
Yeah. And you got that Cleveland game to go with it.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, all right, we're doing that first, and then let's see. You know what? I like.
Yeah, you have a very busy schedule, Derek. I'm not blaming you for having no life at this current time.
I actually like DJ Chark a lot this year. I think he's going to take Quentin Johnston's job.
Okay.
So he might be my highest owned wide receiver over on Drafter so far, just because he goes so late. This is a little earlier than I like to get him. Well, no, this is about where he goes. I get him around the 200 range.
Yeah, I don't touch him, but that's because I'm like afraid that he's just going to be like a guy that makes a squad, helps it for a couple weeks, and then is just like off the team kind of thing.
Wouldn't shock me, to be honest.
I'm hoping not, but like they brought in they drafted Cornelius Johnson, they drafted Ladd, and they have Quentin Johnson, they also Brandon Rice. There's a lot of options there. I'm like, I don't blame him for taking because it's a good. Who knows what piece is going to be the one that works out?
Yeah, I feel like Palmer's their number one. Ladd is going to be their slot, and then it's going to be Johnston and Chark kind of fighting for the deep ball guy.
Yeah, and Darius, what's his name? They have another little slot receiver, Darius.
I don't even know. If they don't get drafted, I don't even know who they are.
He got drafted last year.
Top 220 ADP. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see here. Got a tight end, Jatavian Sanders here. If he makes it back to me. And it looks like he's going to. Alrighty. The one thing about doing your ranks every week is that you remember like where every player is in your ranks if you do it enough. I was like, I already know who's on the top of my queue. I didn't even have to I probably could have just auto drafted there because I already know who's going to be there.
Yeah, and Carolina's a team I really don't get any of either. There's just some teams I completely stay away from, like Giants and Panthers are the top two that I can think of. Denver also, I think those would be my top three teams. Yeah. I don't really have anybody
else. Staying away from Denver and Dallas this year.
Dallas.
Yeah, wow. I just think they're going down they're going the wrong direction in my estimation.
Well, I mean, I love CeeDee Lamb, but you got
to yes. If I get picked two, I'm taking CD. I'll take my few shares that I can get of him. And
then if I get him, I want Dak. But yeah, I'm not getting any Brandon Cooks really. I'm not getting a lot of Ferguson. I do get some Tolbert late because he goes around the 200 range, and I feel like he could take that number 2 job. But yeah, I guess you're right. I don't get any Zeke, but I get some of the Dowdle guy. I feel like that could be his job.
I just don't trust that offensive line. They got rid of a few pieces. I've never been a fan of the play caller there. I can't think of his name right now. He's pretty basic. I trust CD to get his. I think this is going to be a high interception year for Dak. But I could be wrong. He's playing out this contract and is going to get super paid by somebody.
CD has to crush if they're going to be anything because he's really their only stud on the whole team.
Yeah. Yep. Zay Jones.
What do we got here?
So 3663.
All right, I think I'm done with 2 quarterbacks on this team. I like I would say my favorite build would be like 2-6-9-3 or 3-6-9-2.
Oh, I just realized I'm probably going to be a 2 quarterback build. That's okay. I'll be all right with Herbert and Daniel Jones.
Shit, I'm up. I didn't even see that. All right.
I got to change my ranks and get Juwan Johnson out of there.
Let's take CEH just because I have Mahomes.
That's not a bad pick.
Man, if I didn't have Taysom Hill, I would be getting Juwan Johnson here.
It would make sense because he's only out for the first part of the season, or just a training camp, at the worst.
Let's double stack on this one. I'm going to take Elijah Moore with Watson. I like it.
I do too. he had COVID the year I won it and was on my team. I had zero thought that I was going to win that tournament because I had so many people with COVID and injured, and he was one of those guys that had COVID week 17.
That's crazy. What were you doing when you won?
I was me and my wife went down to Austin, Texas, and just because I like going out there, and we were doing like a January 1st, a New Year's Eve party, and we were flying back, and we were actually stuck at the tarmac when the games actually started. So there was no internet, and the airplane that we were on had no TVs, had no Wi-Fi. So I couldn't do anything. I just saw my number kind of going up. I'd like be able to refresh it every like 5 minutes. Wow. It was so bad. So when I got back, I finally found out that I was like I was up there like when I landed.
That's insane.
Yeah. It was the worst best sweat, because if I had been home, I would have been pacing. Who knows if I would have had a heart attack.
That's true. You're right, man. Those bad sweats, especially when they don't go your way, like you just get worked up for nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ones where you're like behind, I've had some where it's like, dang it, I freaking lost, and then I come back and somehow win. Like, yeah, sweats are not fun some of the time.
Yeah, I had 3 week 11 tight ends here, but I don't feel bad about losing 10 potential points out of my tight end slot when I have 3 that I like. But yeah,
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, dude, I won a 555 ticket doing the was it the 5-5 ticket doing the DraftKings Rainmakers UFC fights? First off, the fact that maybe you guys do play and I just don't see you guys, but if you guys played that, I feel like you guys would all rack up all the money on that site.
I started playing Rainmakers, but I didn't know how many new cards they were going to come up with, so I invested into those cards so much, then the value started dipping. It just pissed me off too much.
It does dip, but you can still use them for future contests.
I was more into flipping and then using what I could, and it worked out great for a while. And then they started releasing more and more cards, and I was like, "Oh my god, you guys are killing me here!"
Yeah, and if you buy event packs, they're practically useless. I don't know who's buying those, but
yeah, I did the first couple months, and then I just completely gave up on it.
Yeah, I've won a few 555 tickets on there, and then the what was it called? What did I almost took down the 1,000 the other week, but I came in 5th, which is like $200 or whatever.
Wow. Yeah, I think maybe the second week, whenever Jubilee beat Jekka Sergey, I had Jubilee on my team that week, and I came in. I think I came in second in the small tournament, maybe for $1,000 or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to crush at this. And then I just went on such a bad run my next month or so. And then the cards started dipping. I was like, yeah, I'm completely done with this Rainmakers crap.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it while it lasted.
Well, and like every once in a while, they'll just give you $10 because you're on like the leaderboard or whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll take $10.
Yeah. No, why not? Maybe I should check it out. I haven't even looked in a year.
Well, you could buy the like if you just want to compete for like the core prize or whatever, you could probably spend $20 on like the favorites and just like play those. Your boy, you may not win the top prize, but if you don't have the right order, but
you'll cash. I went for like a legendary lineup with like all favorites, like on paper,
so like $5,000 probably.
Yeah, and then all the favorites lose. I'm like, this game sucks.
yeah.
That was like a Curtis Blades week. He always killed me. I'm like, just go out there and wrestle, man. We're gonna get all the points, and then he gets knocked out.
Oh, who wrestled this week that had like 5 takedowns or 7 takedowns and was just smashing by like the end of round 2? Who was that? I forget. I don't know who it was. I think maybe it was Ambalov, I think his name was.
I actually don't even think I watched the fights. I was at I think I was at the pool all day.
Yeah, I wasn't watching it too much because I'm kind of old and it was kind of a late card for me. But one guy had like 5 takedowns within like 5 minutes of the fight. I was like, holy cow! So I'm gonna go ahead and read off my team, and then we'll go down to you guys down there. So I drafted Puka Nacua, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron Williams, Trey McBride, Jaden Reed, Calvin Ridley, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Romeo Dubs, Joshua Palmer, Justin Herbert, Josh Downs, Marshawn Lloyd, stay please, Jermaine Burton, Ray Davis, Daniel Jones, JT Sanders, Jalen Hyatt, Daniel Bellinger, and Audric Estime. And then
a 2693, my favorite.
Yeah, I usually like to throw on a last wide receiver, but I felt pretty good about my wide receivers, so kind of stuck that route. And then our boy Derek at the 3-hole went with a 2783, Tyreek, Malik, Michael Pittman Jr., Amari Cooper, James Cook, Rashee Rice, Roma Dunze. So this is a good team for Rashee Rice because he has so many good wide receivers ahead of him.
I was wondering where Rice went when I took Worthy. How was Rice not still there?
Dunze, David Njoku, Jaden Daniels, Tua Tags, Devin Singletary, Cole Kmet, Jalen Wright, Ben Simmons, Braylon Allen, Bucky Irving, and Luke McCaffrey, Dante Foreman, Dylan Lobb, and Malik Washington. Definitely some of my favorite last round wide receivers. And yeah, it's a good team, Derek.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the teams we got to work out for.
Yeah, not a dead team.
Not a dead team for sure. All right, then we got you at the 1-hole. We got CMC, Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, Patrick Mahomes, Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Zamir White, Zach Moss, Jalen Warren, Gabe Davis, Mike Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Taysom Hill, Deshaun Watson, Isaiah Likely, Johnny Smith, DJ Shark, CEH, Elijah Moore, and Justice Hill. It's a nice team.
I have a ton of Justice Hill, kind of hoping he is their backup. And then if Henry's old enough and he goes down, then I feel like Justice is going to have a great year. Not great, but for last pick, great.
I could see him getting cut. I don't know how much of the draft you did follow. If Rasheen Ali does make the team, I feel like he's there for Justice Hill.
Maybe.
Like he's there to take him out.
The other guy, the guy
Mitchell,
who tore his ACL late in the season, I just don't know how he's going to be ready anytime soon.
Dude, I wanted him on all my teams last year, but he wasn't in the player pool.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I never even heard of him until he started going off.
Yeah, like he wasn't in the player pool last year. He was in the big board of Underdog, but he wasn't in the regular season of Underdog, nor was he in DraftKings player pool, which kind of sucked.
How'd you know of him?
I drafted the big board the previous year, and I was watching highlights, and the dude was fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got all about it.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, I had no idea who he was. There was a couple people like that last year who ended up coming out of nowhere. I was like, who the heck is this guy?
I want to see that team that drafted no wide receiver. So ATX left. So he ended up going Breece Hall, Barkley, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Rashad White, AR, Jake Ferguson, Kyler Murray. I mean, he's got three of the fastest running quarterbacks out there.
If only all three could start.
Tyler Lockett, Khalil Shakir, A.D. Mitchell, Dontavian Wicks, Polk, J.K. Dobbins, Michael Wilson, Tyler Conklin, Roshan Johnson, Noah Fant, Jawan Jennings, Darius Slayton. Yeah, dude, he's going to get like 30 points out of his receiver room a week.
Not the worst dead team I've ever seen, but I would still call it a dead team.
Yeah, 100%. He's got no shot. No offense, buddy. All right.
I would say his team's better than those like 4 dead teams in that last draft. That we did.
Yes, that last draft that we did together was that one has zero shot for those 4 teams for sure. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go take this over to the Patreon. If you guys want to subscribe, it's $5 a month. It's Patreon/Best Ball Nation. It's $5. You get into a $100 free league if you join Yahoo. I'll put out a link for a Yahoo league. I'll pay out the winner for $100 or $200 this year. Last year I paid out Dennis for $100. This year we'll do $200 for the winner. And then if we get a whole bunch of people, maybe we'll do another one, a second league. All right, it's been fun. It's been real fun.